So what I wanted to explain today, this kick-off session, which is really just a course walkthrough, is to get you clear on what you're going to expect, what you're going to be asked to commit to, and some of the core elements that it just would pay for me to explain now. I'll re-explain them as we go, but there are some key themes and structures to this that it would just be useful for you to have some sense of before we begin. So the first thing is about the schedule. I know we told you, but I'm just going to reiterate. The schedule will be Tuesdays on Facebook or on Zoom. I'm trying to figure out at the moment how the rooms work within the group. There's a space that appears to be there where we can have rooms and video recording. If that seems to work well, then I will use that. But in the meantime, we will use this link, this Zoom link that I've provided for our get-togethers, for our sessions. So please save this link and use this to log on each time. So 4 o'clock on Tuesdays and 10 o'clock on Fridays are the times we will meet. Sessions will last somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour. I will not, unlike the webinar where, you know, obviously we went on and it was extended. And on average, I tend to be pretty good at sticking to time. And I think that's really important that we all maintain that discipline of this is a ring-fenced 45 minutes to an hour. So if we ring-fence 1 hour, then that becomes dedicated time that we collectively contribute to ourselves to these sessions. And from your point of view, what I'm asking you to do is ideally ring fence both sessions so you can attend live both the Friday morning and the Tuesday afternoon. But if you feel like that is you're trying to juggle work commitments or other commitments and you can't do both, that's fine, but do commit to one. I urge you to commit to one live session, because if you don't commit to at least one every week, it will hinder your progress and you will not get the outcomes that are more than doable and definitely possible for you if you do. So please realize that showing up live and ring fencing at least one session per week will give you the kind of guarantee you need that you will make the progress and achieve the change you wanted when you signed up for this program. So when you ring fence that, I want you to, in terms of how you think about that ring fencing, you will find this the most enjoyable experience. So it's not a commitment, oh God, I've got to do this thing, at 10 o'clock on a Friday or 4 o'clock on a Tuesday. It's something that I want you to see as a gift for you. It's going to be a really pleasurable, enjoyable, uplifting experience that you'll come away from feeling way calmer, way more positive than you did going in. No matter what else is going on in your life, you will really reap the rewards, and so you will come to value this time. Right now, you're going to take that on trust from me, because I'm just telling you that, but ring fence that time and protect it. Do not allow anybody else's schedule, demands, expectations to influence. That is your time. Nothing else is allowed to interfere with it. I want you to put it on the top of the list of priorities, because this is one of the key things I want you to become familiar with, is prioritizing yourself. And this is where it starts. In terms of the space that you need when we have these sessions, make sure you are in an uninterruptible space, not sitting in a walkthrough, a walkway, a room with an open door with other people who can interrupt, ask questions, just this one thing. No, you need to be in a space where the door is closed, you are on your own, people know that they're not to disturb you, your phone is on silent or in another room, all the windows on your device that you might be using to access the sessions are closed. There are no notifications that are going to pop up from Facebook or anywhere else. That's the deal. That's what's really important for these sessions. I can't emphasize this enough. In terms of the content, so that's the schedule, that's your commitment to what you do. In terms of the content, when I presented it on the webinar for ease of communication, it looked like, you know, we're going to do some sessions that are about training and some sessions that are about Q&A and some sessions that are about hypnosis. But in reality, the sessions we do will be a combination of all three. And here's what's going to be different. Rather than, and this is why also I did mention this, that each program, each course that I run is going to differ from each other course, because it will vary according to the people who show up and the problems you have and where you're stuck and where you want to make progress. Which means that rather than me delivering, okay, here's the bit of content I'm delivering today, you ask me some questions, I go, okay, great, everybody got that, and then I deliver some hypnosis thing, it will work differently. It will kick off with Q&A, but actually the questions that I'll be asking of you, not the other way around, although you can ask me questions, I will be asking questions of you, and then I will be delivering training and content based on what it is you need. Now, there will be common themes. I'm going to share some of those key themes in a moment, but it's all very well. If I could just give you common themes that you could go away with and do on your own, that would be easy. I could just write you a little ebook and send you off, and off you to go. But the reason you're on this program and the reason this becomes powerful is that you've got me to adapt and flex and make the content work for you and explain it in a way that works for you personally, because we all understand things on a different level in a different way, and it lands differently at different times too. So that would be the flow. It starts with me asking you questions, then I'm delivering stuff in response to what you're giving me, so I'm guiding you in terms of how I think you can move forwards, and then I will construct the bespoke individualized hypnotherapy session within the whole of that 45 minutes. So that sounds like that's an awful lot to cram in, but we're quite a small group. We will be able to get this done, and this is as close as you could possibly get to working one-to-one with me. There's a lot of here, because when I'm in flow, you can tell I just go, oh, but when I need to conform to structure, there are some because I need to look down and make sure I'm covering what I need to cover. In terms of your contribution, the first week is where I'm asking you to do the most. So in terms of the work you have to do, apart from ring fencing those sessions, there's not a lot that you need to do. It becomes, and it mostly is, pretty effortless and enjoyable. There's something I need you to do straight away though, and that is, if you haven't already downloaded the sleep audio that was gifted on the webinar. If you haven't got that, I believe we've sent out, I'll check with my tech guy, but we will have sent out a link either in an email or in Messenger for you to download that. If for any reason you can't find that, if you opted for the Mid Life Reinvention Programme as well, you will find a copy of it is in module 1 of that program, and you can download it there, or just reach out. In fact, do you know what would be easy? I'll just post the link in the group. So either way, you'll either have it on a link that you've already been sent, you've either already downloaded it, it's in module 1 of Mid Life Reinvention, and I'm going to post it in the Facebook link so you can access that. Now, it's important you download that today and you listen to that every single night before you go to sleep. And when I say before you go to sleep, what I mean is you're in bed, you're ready to go to sleep, you're snuggled down, and then you press play. And then you go to sleep. 99 times out of 100, you will not hear the end of the audio. It lasts about half an hour, but you will not hear it. You will fall asleep. That supports what we're doing in the program. If you have this part, bear with me just 1 second. Okay, so there was an interruption because of the timings. So I've done 2 separate sessions and 2 halves of this particular recording. And I've kind of partly lost track, so I may repeat myself, for which I know you'll forgive me. I think I've covered the schedule and the content. It's quite straightforward. It's twice a week. Each session will be starting off with you. So the question and answer is really me asking you questions that you answer, and then I use the training, if you like. And it's not about really training, it's about adapting what I know to help you move forwards on your terms. So I will be using stuff that comes from my learning, that you will learn from, that you can apply, but it won't be here's a bit of training, now go figure out how that works for you. I will be adapting it for you, and I will be using the content that you help me with by what you tell me in sessions. So it will mean I'll be scribbling down, writing notes, so you'll see me looking away from the screen. I'll be capturing things that are important. I'll be using those both from the live sessions and from what you post on the Facebook page as we move through. Now, I need you to post at least once per week. That's the bare minimum. And what you post is very specific. I want you to post what's been good. What's been good this week? And two things. What's been good this week, and what is your number on a scale? Some of you are familiar with scales. I'm just going to explain. A scale is a number between 0 and 10. We look at your entire life, as in how you feel about your entire life. 10 is phenomenal. Like, I wouldn't change a thing. I feel great. I can do anything. I'm worried. I don't worry about anything. Stress. I'm not stressed about anything. 10 is just glorious. 0 is a place you don't want to go. You might have been there. You don't want to go back there. You certainly don't want to stay there if that's where you are. And so most people are on somewhere between those two numbers. And we're all going to be on a different number. So some of you will start on, as low as a 2, for example. Some might be on a 1. It doesn't matter where you start. Some maybe even on as high as a 6. What matters is that you know that number, and each week you post that number as well as what's been good. So that this is not for anybody else's consumption except for mine, okay? So this is not a comparative, well, so-and-so's on 5 and I'm only on 4. This is, posting of the number is simply for me to observe, but also for you to observe, because sometimes people don't realize that they're making progress. I can't tell you how many times I've been with people, and every time I say, okay, so what's your number? They go, oh, I think it's not much different to last week. And they want me to take that at face value. And I go, oh, I can't quite remember what was last week. What is it this week? And they have to give me a number. 99 times out of 100, the number's higher. Even though they thought it really wasn't any different, it is different. And that's why remembering this number and noting this number down is important. Now, the downside of this is the fact that you have posted it means you might be tempted to go, oh, what did I put last week? Go find it and then write it down. Please resist the urge to do that. Each time you post once a week with that number, and only once a week, just think in the moment, where do I feel like I am now? Remembering 10 is as good as it gets, 0 is as bad as it gets. Where do I feel right now? And put down the number. So if you do that honestly, without that cheating thing, and now you know why you don't do that cheating thing, because remember, this is going on in your subconscious. Your logical brain tries to interfere by going, oh, just look at the number, what it was last week, it's the same. Your subconscious just goes, check in with how I feel. How do I feel? Oh, I feel like I'm a 6. Okay, I'm a 6. That's what makes the difference. So this is a process of working with the brilliance of your subconscious brain, not the interfering. For the time being, your logical brain can come and take over again at the end of the process, but it's not to interfere for now. Okay, it's got to stay outside the room for a little while. So those are the key principles. So the miracle question I've just given you a flavour of, that becomes more and more important. The scaling is vital. The contributing what's been good every week. If you can contribute what's been good more than once per week, fantastic. If you can do it daily, brilliant. But at least schedule. Oh, right, Tuesday, I've got to put something in. Got to put something in on Tuesday. If you can put something in on Fridays too, or Thursday evenings, that means that each of those sessions will be, especially if you can't show up for the live, then instead of showing up, if it's something you can't show up to, make sure you put in an additional post. So I've got fresh content that's personal and specific to you, because that's important. Otherwise, what you'll get, if you don't give me that information about you, you will receive a hypnosis recording which is perfectly designed for somebody else, not for you. What I want to do is make sure I incorporate as much as I possibly can for each of you. So you will all get content that's relevant for you. Hope that makes sense. The next session, in other words, the first real session of the program, is on how the brain works. And that is most like this session, in that I will be, that's probably the only kind of training bit, if you like. That is a vital foundation stone for the work that we do, that it helps everything fall into place for you. It will make sense of what's been going on. It makes sense of how we're moving forwards. It can give you a sense of, just in itself, of confidence, of relief, of like, oh, for goodness sake, thank goodness, I really am not going mad. Because sometimes we think we are. But I want to emphasize the difference between the two programs. Crisis to Freedom is a live and personal journey where it's enjoyable, it's personal, it's not too arduous, there's not much homework involved, you don't have to do lots of listening. If you show up live, you don't have to listen to any recordings. If you do listen to recordings, they'll be because you want to listen to them, and you listen to them in the same kind of sacrosanct space where no one's disturbing you. You just lock yourself away and get yourself a cup of tea and a rug and a cushion and enjoy it. Mid Life Reinvention, by contrast, is an entirely pre-recorded program. It's lots of educational content and training. It dovetails perfectly. So in that program, I pretty much share everything I know that you could know. I mean, I'm sure there's extra stuff, because there's always new stuff that I think, oh, there's this, and then I could do that. But it's fairly comprehensive. It's got loads of great trainings, there's videos, there's exercises, there's audios. But what I would say is, although the content fits with this perfectly, don't feel you have to go into it at all if you don't want to. And if you do go into it, don't feel like, oh my goodness, I have to go through what I need to do this, because it's written in a modular, do this, do that, you know, do this module, then do that module, then do the other module. Dip into it as you want. There is good content. If there's something in there you think, oh, that's interesting, have a look at it. Use it. But please realize it is a very different program. It is all pre-recorded. It is content rich. It is great, but it will be drinking through a fire hose if you try to do that as well as this. You might get to the end of Crisis to Freedom and think, oh, actually, it would be really nice maybe to go now through the other program. And a lot of it you can skip through because you go, oh yeah, I've done that, I know this. Or it's good refresher information, embeds in your brain what it is you've acquired and learned through this program. But there's also, you know, kind of an extension, how you can move this forwards. And there is also a program beyond that, should you wish to get involved. But don't run before you can walk. Maybe just stick to this program, you'll be fine, okay? All right, so I've now managed to finally press the record buttons. I've done 2 lovely sessions with you. It's been a great morning. Not the most productive morning, but really valuable for me, and I hope valuable for you. And I look forward to starting this program in earnest next week. Okay, I hope this is helpful. See you soon.